The Barack took a jab at Hispanic voters for supporting Trump. The Barack took a dig at Hispanic Americans who voted for President Trump, saying they looked past his inflammatory rhetoric and immigration policies because they were aligned on social issues. The 44th Commander-in-Chief made his remarks during an interview with The Breakfast Club this past week while discussing what he hoped Democrats would take away from part one of his memoir, A Promised Land, released earlier this month. Those of us who live in D.C. or New York or L.A. sometimes lack a good enough sense on how big this country is and how a lot of folks do not accept at all policies that people living in larger metropolitan areas take for granted. The former president turned to the topic of Hispanics who voted for Trump as an example. People were surprised about a lot of Hispanic folks who voted for Trump, but there's a lot of evangelical Hispanics who, the fact that Trump says racist things about Mexicans or puts detainees, undocumented workers in cages, they think that less important than the fact that he supports their views on gay marriage and abortion, he explained. So while Trump gains with Hispanics are certainly notable, their support of Republicans is not a new phenomenon.
I think what he's trying to say, and please don't get me wrong on this, most of the stuff that Trump was saying had to do with immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of immigrants they didn't have the right to vote, correct?
Correct.
Therefore, the group that he was aiming at, that Trump was aiming for, was Latino Americans that were already here,
mm-hmm.
that already have religious views. At most, I think it was a religious thing. Democrats are not always religious. They're usually liberal.
Mm-hmm.
As with Republicans are hardcore religious, supposed to be religious, man.
Yeah, like the Bible Belt and
That's
everything like that.
Yeah, Bible Belt type stuff, man. That's why I think they went that way. Yes, I felt as though they really didn't focus. I felt as though the Democrats didn't really focus that hard on Latino vote to begin with, man. I don't think they really focused that hard on it, man.
Yeah.
When you don't focus that hard on the vote, what you expect?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go down there to figure out what people wanted. They went right for the black folk because they know, I felt like they put more into the black vote than anything. I felt like everybody else was just thrown to the side or whatever, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the thing is, just to sum it all up, man, if you are a Latino American born and raised here, are you really concerned with immigration issues? Are you really concerned with deportation issues? Are you really concerned with a wall down in Mexico? Are those really your issues, your top issues? But if you're not concerned with those, I think you probably would vote. You would vote Republican automatically.
Mm-hmm. That's true. GPS?
I think I saw a Facebook meme somewhere, and I can't remember if it was Dominicans and Cubans were looking at Puerto Ricans like, why? Or one group of Latinos was standing opposite of the other. I think it was two were standing opposite of the other one. I can't remember exactly which way it went. But, like Cortez said, if you're not worried about immigration, then, if you're already here, you're not worried about immigration. It doesn't matter to you.
So do you think that Joe is going to be able to bring all the different shades of brown together?
I think he's going to do what he can. I think he'll probably delegate a lot of that to Kamala. And, there'll probably be a project she's working on.
Okay.
Because there's no way any president could tackle all of this in one shot. I mean, you're talking about COVID, immigration, the stimulus that, they still haven't, I don't think they've come to a resolution on that on the next bill, because you got something that there's whatever they decided with the last go round, all that runs out in December.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I don't even think it makes it to the end of the month. I think it gets to like the 21st, 23rd.
They're going to leave everybody hanging. You're right. They're going to leave us. Before this, what got me, and Trump stood right by what he said. He was like, I will go and negotiate a new stimulus packet after I win. He made that very clear, and he did not win.
Facts.
Therefore, Therefore, he is not going to sign. I don't think he's going to sign a damn thing right now.
No, you know what
He
this
just
kind of
going.
reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of basically, when you have a chick comes to your crib and everything like that, and things happen. You wake up the next morning, you have a check and a note next to your bedstand saying last night was dope, and that was it.
Mm.
So basically, is Trump pimping the United States of America after a good ride?
Oh hell yeah, man! Shit, man. He's. I was seeing more footage of him on a golf course because I know he got to use up that time.
Mm-hmm.
He has to use up any sick time or whatever, man. So I see him more on the golf course. I don't think he's really concerned about politics at this point, man. I think he's just sitting there, still trying to come up with some type of conspiracy theory on why he didn't win and this and that, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, he ain't gonna sign shit, man. He ain't gonna do it.
I'm not holding my breath. I'm not David Blaine. Sorry, it ain't for me.